Good evening and welcome to this month's edition of the School Zone. I'm your student host, Amanda Bradshaw. Tonight we cover a lot of stories in our district, so let's get started. We start right here at Lincoln High School where students got involved with homelessness.
Hi, my name is Kate Quinlivan. I'm the president of Lincoln High School Student Council, and we're coordinating a project entitled Stand Up for Humanity. And our project is basically to raise awareness about homelessness in Sioux Falls, in the state, in the nation, because it's really a huge problem. And the Student Council felt that it's not really a problem addressed within Sioux Falls and within our area and within youth, and it really affects youth. And throughout the week we'll be doing various activities to raise awareness among the school throughout the community, and we'll also be raising a lot of money, or trying to get a lot of money for a program through the Salvation Army called Night Watch, which brings meals to homeless people at night when the banquet isn't open. And some of the money will also be going to the local banquet, and we'll be doing like a sock drive and backpack drive to get clothing items and that sort of thing to give to homeless people. But we also have a guest to talk about youth activities and youth homelessness within the nation. So, Zach?
All right. Hello, my name is Zach Baumgartner. I'm the vice president on Lincoln High School Student Council. And like Kate said, this whole week we're doing a program to raise awareness and funds for homelessness. Luckily, to start off this week-long program, we were able to have a guest from San Diego, California. His name is Rick Kocha, and what he is he's the founder of the Stand Up for Kids organization. The Stand Up for Kids organization was started back in 1990, and over the past 14 years it's grown to become the largest charitable organization for homeless children in the entire nation.
So being you work with youth, I imagine it's a vast number of kids who are homeless or aren't with their families. Do you know exactly, like, can you give us a number so we can actually comprehend this?
Yeah, I think the number is almost incomprehensible, actually. Nationwide, reported children who have run away is 1.3 million. You take into account all the children that no one ever reports that are kicked out, run away from abusive situations. I believe the number, if you go to the National Runaway Switchboard, they reported it as high as 2.89 million children are on their own on the streets.
What do you think as high school students that we can do?
First of all, 1,800 voices is a loud voice. Is the mayor, are people really doing something? And, you know, and what is it? And is it enough? You can do, as you mentioned, Kate, sock drives and clothing drives and food drives. Everybody can bring a can of food to school. I'm sure 1,800 cans of food would last any organization here a long time. And money always helps. There are things that there are bills that have to be paid. But we've never made Stand Up for Kids about money. It was always about come and get involved in the lives of young people. Not unlike, I could tell you, introduce you hundreds and hundreds of kids just like you. People would be amazed that they were homeless. So it isn't like it's someone from some other planet. It's a real situation with real kids.
Yeah. What do you feel is the cause of such alarming numbers when it comes to homeless children?
Unfortunately, it's abuse. We know that one child runs away every minute in the United States. 1,440 plus kids a day give up and run away. We also know that, you know, it's not just the physical abuse or sexual abuse, but the mental abuse that children suffer, that in the end they get tired of it and they leave. Of the 1.3 million children that we're aware of, because they've been reported as running away, because not to report a runaway is a felony, to half are still under the age of 15. And so when you're the age of 15 and you're living on the streets, you have to break the law every day just to survive. You have to get up every day and go break the law because you can't legally work. No one would choose that. It would be asinine, and we would be stupid to think someone would choose that life. Would you choose it? No. Would you choose it today in the snow?
No.
Definitely not.
And we really do appreciate your time and your effort to be able to come up here and help us out.
My privilege, my honor. Thank you, both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next journey takes us to Foss High School where students are encouraged to read Read-A-Latte. Let's find out more.
Okay, my name is Jeff Thompson. I teach reading, I teach speech, modern lit, and Read-A-Latte is a program that was started by Miss Brower probably about 4 years ago. And we've been doing it every year, and this year has been our biggest one. We've had musicians, we've had students, we even have a magician going on right now. And what we try and do is have people speak and talk a little bit about how reading has affected their lives, the interest that they've gained from it and knowledge they've gained. We're lucky enough to receive a grant, and we're using that money now for food, coffee, cappuccino, and sort of creating a coffee house atmosphere for students. And they seem to be liking it.
I'm Evie Brower, and I teach at Foss High School. I teach reading and English, and I also help with the whole reading program as a reading specialist. We received a community foundation grant, which we so appreciated because it makes this Read-A-Latte even bigger and better. We're able to have more guest speakers. We're able to give out more door prizes, which the door prizes we're trying to put in the hands of the children, in the hands of our students, quality literature, something fun to read, something that they're going to be excited about reading about. So we're using the money for that. Wes Hilton is our science teacher. He spent several years in Africa, and he was able to share his experiences with the students that he had there, shared some of the music, some of the culture, some of the clothing, and just gave a really hands-on presentation. Here at Joe Foss, we're really excited about our reading program. We have 2 reading specialists. We offer a variety of reading classes that are also offered across the district. One of our big successes with the students here is that we keep small class sizes, and we also try to spend extra time after class to do some one-on-one remedial help with them. We really appreciate the support that we have from Mr. Yost, our principal. He is always listening to our new ideas and always challenging us to do the best for the students here to help improve their reading skills across all disciplines.
Next, we travel to Roosevelt High School, where we see rocking horses being produced by woodworking students.
Well, this is a production class that we have with manufacturing with our Wood Tech 2 students that we have started this year, where we are going to be mass producing a rocking horse. And like some of our other classes at Roosevelt High School, I know us in the Family Consumer Science, they donated blankets that were given out to the hospitals and were donated to students to bring cheer or do morale and also cheer them up. Well, one of the things that our students, when we first came into class, they have a manufacturing project that they have to do. And this year, when I brought in some of my patterns, they brought in that they'd like to really make rocking horse patterns. And one of the things, we are going to be donating these out to the Christian Center that's right across the street, the Montessori a block down, and we're going to also donate to the 2 hospitals that are in town. We also plan on donating also to the Children's Hospital. And then from there, we'll also be selling a couple of them, trying to offset some of the productivity that we've had in here. Well, one of the processes that the students have to understand is, I have kind of in my classes where we talk about a job and a career. And all of our students at Roosevelt here, and students that I even have in my class, they have a job. And what I call a job is just over broke. And with that being called just over broke, the students are understanding that, yeah, they're making money for spending now, but is this really a career choice that they want to make, is what they're doing right now. So by doing the manufacturing is we take the students by them producing where they have to be in a big group. They're in a diversity group. They're also in the different, how do I want to say it, where they have to work together as a group. They have certain parts of the rocking horse that they're making, that we have 2 or 3 different students doing that. Once they get done making their part, then all of a sudden in a mass production, they're put into another job chore. So in other words, where instead of getting paid money, their pay in here is what their grade is. And one of the satisfactions that they also get here in another 2 weeks is the gratification of not only helping the Roosevelt community, but helping Sioux Falls in itself, of donating these projects to the children and also to the different businesses that can be useful for them.
I'm Matt Riedlinger, a senior at Roosevelt. We have to trace and cut all the pieces, line all the pieces up and cut them.
Okay, now in the rocking horse, the base of that rocking horse is a rocker. Can you talk about what you have to do especially for...
We have to make sure that the bottoms are smooth so they'll actually rock and it won't be actually a bumpy ride.
My name's Daniel Moore. I'm junior at Roosevelt High School. I'm kind of supervising the Wood Tech class, and we're making rocking horses for local churches, hospitals, and we're going to sell a few of them. We use mainly jigsaws, table saws, routers, for the rounded pieces of wood, and we're just going to do this for practice and some donations. Later on, we're going to be able to make some of our own projects.
A new course has started in our school district, AP World History. We visited a class at Roosevelt High School where role-playing becomes a part of the lesson.
My country, I am Peter the Great, and we were the Russians. And initially, the empire was founded on the collapse of the Mongol Empire in present-day Moscow, was where it fell. And then basically we started to combine elements of Turkish heritage and our Slavic heritage. And that's basically where after that I had come into power. And I rose and I went to Europe. I learned everything I could from Europe, and then I came back to my country. And I brought back all the technology and things I had learned and put them into my country. And we began to expand east and west, and we took Warm Water Port over Sweden after we destroyed them so easily. Because we were great like that. And yes, then we rose in power from there.
My name is Tom Holmes, and I teach world history at Roosevelt High School here in Sioux Falls. And the particular class that was being taped today was an advanced placement world history class. And we're completing a unit on the formation of major empires in the world, the Spanish and Portuguese Empire in America, as well as the Mughal Empire in India, the Ottoman Empire in what is today Turkey, the expansion of the Russian Empire, first under Peter the Great and later Tsarina Catherine, as well as other empires. And what I tried to do is to set up a role play where students were given specific roles that they would have to research for. And then I had questions that they were to be prepared to answer. And they showed up today with the idea that they were going to actually play the role of that particular individual as I asked questions. And tomorrow we'll conclude the activity, and I will have them talk about the present day situation, and if they had an opportunity to give President Bush advice as to how to deal with the situation in Iraq, what they might say to him so that we can make a connection between their time period and today. I am on an internet site, kind of a chat room in a sense, with other advanced placement world history teachers across the country. And some of these teachers have been teaching AP World History now for the past 2 or 3 years. This is the first year for me. As a matter of fact, the first year the course has been offered here in Sioux Falls. And one of the other teachers mentioned the possibility of doing something like this. And I picked up on it right away because there is so many different individuals. There are so many different individuals, and there's so much information that I don't want to just stand up in front of my class and lecture at them. I thought that'd be a rather dry and not a very educational way of dealing with this. And I thought a role play would be particularly effective because my students would be put in a position where they'd really have to learn something and learn it well. It's one thing to be able to take information and regurgitate it back on a test. It's something completely different to take information and then be able to explain it and actually play a role. It involves different parts of the brain, and ultimately, I think, leads to more profound learning.
Sullivan Elementary School has been taking a family fitness challenge. Principal Nancy Duncan will tell us more.
I'm Nancy Duncan, principal at Annie Sullivan, and during 5 weeks starting at the end of January, Annie Sullivan is doing a family fitness challenge. This was in a response to all the information we've heard in terms of students not being physically fit and being overweight. So we decided to kind of play off the mayor's fitness challenge that was going on last fall, and with our school business partners, the City of Sioux Falls, and we are doing a family fitness challenge that's focusing on 3 areas of wellness. Students are encouraged to do activities every day, and those activities can range from walking to shoveling snow to playing to just doing the things kids do naturally to get exercise. But they earn bonus points if they do those activities with a family member. So we're promoting it as a family activity. Students also earn points for eating healthy, and that includes drinking milk, drinking water, trying new foods, eating 5 fruits and vegetables each day. And they earn points for that, but they also can earn a bonus point if they sit down with their family and eat a meal together as a family. And then we're focusing on getting enough rest because we know that students who are well rested do better in school. And so students earn points for getting 8 or 9 hours of sleep at night depending on their age. And if parent also gets, and other family members also get the needed rest, they get a bonus point. And so students have a tracking sheet that looks something like this that they have for each week, and they track the activities that they do, the healthy eating that they do, and their rest. And on the back of the sheet it gives suggestions of activities that they can do in each of these 3 categories. And every Friday they bring back their sheets and they get to move their shoes down the hallways in their appropriate hallways by grade level. And so we are tracking student participation each week, and we're going to have a culminating event on March 5th to celebrate our Family Fitness Challenge, and we are going to have an activity with our mayor and city representatives, teachers, and students who participated in the program, and also award prizes and recognize students who rose to the Family Fitness Challenge.
I'm Julie Remmers, PE teacher at Annie Sullivan Elementary, and we're having Smart Games this week. We're celebrating our Family Fitness Challenge that we have going on at our school. We are encouraging the children to get involved in exercise and treating their heart correctly. We're learning about the heart today in Heart Smart Games. We're learning what exercise does for the heart, how it strengthens it, how it also needs to be at rest. That ties in with our Family Fitness Challenge of getting rest along with eating right. We have a station that involves washing our hands to keep the germs away, to keep us healthy in this season of the flu. We're learning about the exercise. We're getting to hear our heartbeats through stethoscopes. We're finding out what our heart sounds like at rest and how it sounds when you are finished with exercise, that it's beating faster, quicker, and that it's getting stronger through exercise.
I'm Nikki McLaughlin. I'm in 404 in 4th grade, and I think the Family Fitness program is fun to do because it's hard to try new foods, and it's really, really hard to get less than 3 sweets a day.
So has your whole family been active in doing this?
Yeah.
And what kind of things have you been doing with your family?
We've been taking walks and going sledding together. I'm Heather Loy, and Family Fitness has been fun because it's a challenge to try new foods and to exercise a lot and to sleep and get enough rest so you're awake in classes, and it's just been really fun.
Hi, my name is Tanner Toms. I'm a 4th grade student at Annie Sullivan Elementary. I think Family Fitness has been fun because you get to exercise, eat right, sleep tight, do any kind of exercises, push-ups, sit-ups, eat less than 2 sweets, jog, play tag, do it all with your family and stuff.
Our final journey takes us to the Challenge Center at Mark Twain Elementary School. Students there found a unique way to tell us about some of their favorite authors.
Hello, I'm Dan Vandenberg. I teach 3rd and 4th grade at Mark Twain Elementary School. I'm talking to you about a project we are doing called Author in a Bag. I would like to credit Cindy Nelson in our school district, a 5th grade teacher, who originated the idea, and now I have spun off on it to meet the objectives that my students need to fulfill at their grade level. We first began learning how to do internet research searching for an author. Students had to first select an author. They needed to look for information regarding that author, complete the sheet of basic questions about their author. They next had to analyze the information they gathered from their author to determine the main important events in the author's life. They took this main information that they had determined to be important, went home and found an item that would represent that main event of importance in the author's life. We all know that we learn from mentors. This author in a bag, the student's particular choice of an author, has now become their mentor. The students will be able to learn about how authors write and other information about an author's life by doing this project. One of the other things students had to do with their author in a big project was to make a booklet about the author. One student chose Scott Odell, another student chose Barbara Park. C.S. Lewis and the Chronicles of Narnia was a favorite of many. Andrew Clements is another favorite. Through their author, they also learned other language arts skills. Students learned how to write titles of books. We also used one of the books written by their author to find different parts of speech. Nouns, adjectives, verbs, adverbs, and pronouns were some of the parts of speech that were used in the author's fictional literature. We also talked about formation of words. Students had to look in the author's books to find words that used prefixes and suffixes. They made lists of these different language skills and then had to determine if they chose appropriate words to fit that skill. In becoming an author, we know that we look at author styles of writing. Each student had to select a portion of their text, copy a couple sentences written directly by the author, and then determine what style of writing did that author use most frequently in his or her literature. Students found that some authors were very humorous and different characteristics of authors in their literature. I have two students with me who will give you their perspective on what we are doing with our Author in a Bag projects.
My author is Margaret Peterson Haddix. She is about 40 years old and has written many books, including Because of Anya, Running Out of Time, Among the Hidden, Don't You Dare Read This, Mrs. Dumfrey, Among the Betrayed, Among the Impostors, Among the Barons, and Leaving Fishers. There are many. She has written other books too. Turnabouts, Takeoffs and Landings, Just Ella, and with 500 middle names, which I don't have copy of. This book, A Little Princess, was one of Margaret's favorite books when she was a little girl. I brought this van to represent that she likes to travel. This bike is to represent that she likes to bicycle. I brought this map showing a few states to show where she has lived. She lives in Ohio right now and has lived in Illinois, Indiana, and Pennsylvania. These people are to represent her family when she was a kid. Her mom was a nurse. Her dad was a farmer. Margaret, her two older brothers, and her little sister. These people are to represent her family now. Margaret and her husband, her 8-year-old daughter, Meredith, and her 6-year-old son, Connor.
Hello, I'm Rachel Thornton. I'm a 4th grader at Mark Twain Challenge Center. My author is C.S. Lewis. C.S. Lewis wrote the Chronicles of Narnia, so I brought this lion, he wrote the books Chronicles of Narnia, and the central character is Aslan, and he is a lion. I included this book because he got his inspiration from a drawing he drew of a fawn in the snow with an umbrella, and it might look something like this. C.S. Lewis was a Christian, so I brought a little Bible to represent that. He was very good friends with J.R. Tolkien, so
here is the Fellowship of the Ring. He wrote it. C.S. Lewis could write 8 books in 20 years. So here's the books he wrote. Out of the Silent Planet, The Magician's Nephew, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, The Horse and His Boy, Prince Caspian, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, The Silver Chair, and The Last Battle.
We got our information off of the internet. All authors have a different style of writing. And this is what we learned.
That is all for this month's School Zone. Join us again in March for another edition of the School Zone. Good night.
To America.
That's right, but that's one of the great things about growing up in the United States. You have as much to learn from them as they have to learn from you.
My grandmother can